With immigration in the national spotlight, it seems that we're hearing from a number of people who look down on immigrants. You see it on social media. Many of these same people frequently don't trust the government and its handling of immigration policy.
Well, joining us on the Koga News Live line is San Diego State Management Professor Dr. Valerie Alexandra. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning. Good morning, Ted and LaDonna.
So you did research on this, and what exactly did you find out about people who look down on immigrants?
So what we found is that individuals who tend to be cynical, who believe that they can't trust the institutions, they can't trust others, they also tend to believe that they live in a society that sort of is separated into these hierarchies of social group, and they tend to belong to higher status groups. And then the same type of individuals we found tend to behave more unethically and are less likely to recognize unethical behavior when they see it.
So were you able to delve in and kind of find out how people who have a more cynical disposition tend to be more predisposed to unethical behavior, like stealing office supplies or cheating on their taxes? I mean, what is the correlation there?
Right, and sort of like what's the process, right? So the process, we looked into that, and we think what happens is that those individuals who distrust others, they tend to experience a certain type of threat, right? So they can't trust others, so they feel threatened. And this feeling of threat oftentimes sort of develops into this social dominance, we call it. And social dominance is where they have to deal with threats, so they have to feel comfortable. And one way to deal with this is to believe that you belong to some group that is better than others. That makes people feel a little more secure, a little better. And then the connection between unethical behaviors, when people believe that they are special and when they believe that they belong to a group that's different from others, they oftentimes believe they don't have to follow the norms of the wider society, that they can just, follow the norms of their group, especially if it's a elite group. And that oftentimes ends up in unethical, thoughts, decisions, and lack of ability to recognize when someone does break the norms.
Okay, so then the question is, can these people change?
Yes, good question. We think yes. We think other studies had shown that we can reduce the disposition to dominance, to the predisposition to social inequality, so to speak. And one way to do that is to instill more egalitarian environments. So one of the other studies, for example, showed that in universities, certain type of majors tend to be much more dominant and believe in inequality more than others. And so those are the majors where there's a lot of competition, for example. And the majors that tend to be more egalitarian is where there's not that much competition instilled. And so we advise that within organizations, currently, for example, there's a lot of emphasis on competition based on bonuses, performance, etc. We suggest that there's more emphasis on egalitarianism, on inclusion, rather than competition, for example. And this way we can provide an environment where people can become more tolerant and not as socially dominant.
Dr. Valerie Alexandra at SDSU, thank you so much for your time and the latest on this study as well.